I mean, where are we so far in Tatters of the King?
Would you?
All I
I think
remember is we were going
Derek's all
to a
business.
not so ideal town that
Right.
sounds like
Hello,
so
hello, Angie.
an Englishman, an Irishman, a Scotsman, and a man for some reason dressed as Charlie Chaplin walk into a
I
deserted
know, I
town
want
in
it.
Somerset and freeze to
We're
death.
still waiting for Andy. Sorry, I was just.
no.
I think that pretty much covers it, doesn't it?
We're gonna have to make a fire, find a building, take shelter.
But that actually, we broke into a church. How do we
No,
campsite?
we'd found
We went for a jolly
what's
old
her face?
jaunt through the
we'd
woods.
found Malcolm's wife
Yes,
and
we
managed
did.
to talk her into letting us in.
Yeah, you found.
I think we're just
letting
about to
dogs
get
eat
baked
her.
in the cookies.
Yeah.
We're about to go in the witch's oven.
All I know is
We'll start
I'm
off the episode with all got
freaking
apples in our
burning
mouths.
up.
We're hog tied on the table.
It is really hot here in Utah right now. It is like
Well,
dying out here.
Bloody switch
with,
your going on.
with due respect, you live in Utah, mate. Does that not come with the territory? And we complain when if it gets up to 25 degrees.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, and since the Salt
Oh.
Lake is starting to fade away, which is actually happening, by the way, we now have a whitefly infestation, meaning our crops are dying.
So how hot is it there at the moment?
I mean, almost to triple digits.
Oh, Jesus
in-
Christ!
Fahrenheit,
What's
you're
that?
talking about 30 odds.
I was going to say, what's that in real
You're
money?
hitting 40.
Like
Yeah,
in
you're
the
talking about 35
90s.
degrees.
No, no. I would just go underground and never come out again.
I'm
Although
thinking
to be
about
fair, it'll probably be dry rather than
Yeah, it's the humidity over here kills you.
yeah.
I'm actually thinking about buying a AC unit for the computer room.
Have you not got one in the house? For everybody over there had in those kind of states had.
We do have one for the house. It's just my mom doesn't like using it too much.
Yeah, they are stupid expensive.
Yeah, and
Is it Forster or the fucking stupid someone?
Well, it's basically a monopoly. You know, hot weather, people are going to use electricity.
Yeah, I mean, is it Forster or is it the sump?
I have no idea.
The sump with the big thing up on top of the roof where you have the hose going into it and it only cools one
No,
part of the
I
house.
think it's electric.
Oh, so it comes through the vents? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Forster. Yeah, it's better. At least that works. The other type's absolutely shit. Just you get one blast of freezing cold and maybe a hallway or something. Everywhere else is just the same. And then you pay water charges. It goes up triple digits. Like, okay.
I saw about the most terrifying video I have ever seen on YouTube of all time.
Did you watch my striptease video?
No, it's I think objectively it's worse than that.
so you have seen it.
No. Look, I will share you the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But I will warn, it's pretty scary.
Hang on before I go see these stupid birds are going in there being brats tonight.
It's not anything, like against TOS and stuff like that, but it's kind of like that sort of, gray area where you feel like it shouldn't be there and yet it's still legal.
Yeah, there's plenty of that stuff.
Should be.
Came across the amazing compilations of headshot compilations on YouTube. That was
Is that what it sounds like?
It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. Animal. What's it? Animal headshots of. Yeah, videos of people doing headshots on various animals, from small lizards up to large pieces of wildlife. But just the headshots. Close up
Anyway, so
compilations of headshots.
I will send it to the DM just so that way you can see, like, just at your own discretion how bad it is.
Okay.
The video is like a kind of TikTok-esque video for YouTube. It says, if zombies went to the dentist.
Okay. That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh. Get ready. Get ready. And anyway, just please don't ban me. I warned you, it's gonna be bad.
Ooh, they're like bad teeth.
It's like if you're British, this is the sort of video that would.
Oh my god.
I know those teeth are absolutely devastated.
Oh, who the hell has teeth like that?
I don't even know, but the fact that they're Caucasian just makes me even more curious.
I couldn't even. Wow. I'm not even sure how they're
It's
staying in
like,
his head.
I mean, has that person legitimately never seen a toothbrush in their entire life?
No, I don't think so. That's pretty bad. Not a good video to watch if you got a thing about teeth.
See,
And definitely not a good one if you're on an empty stomach.
Well, I haven't heard anything from Andy yet. He did said it would be available. So I guess what time is it? It's quarter. I guess we should like crack on and see if let him join if and when he arrives. Or do you want to give him a bit longer?
whichever.
I mean, I'm happy to wait
I'm
if
happy
it means.
to give him till like 8 if you want to.
Can we give it well 8? So we'll have to entertain people with our incredibly exciting.
Do you want to do your striptease?
Striptease, yes, Colin. Come on.
Wait, I got it. I'll do Charlie Chaplin acts for the town to, entertain them.
You're not on camera. How can you do that?
Voice for radio.
I was referring. Never mind. It's okay.
There's a silent movie actor. And
He's a silent movie actor. How do you do it?
Sing us a song.
I'm too goofy for me to be singing right now.
I'm too goofy for my shirt. Too goofy for my shirt. That was probably a very English joke.
Yes.
You're on mute, by the way, if you're trying to.
Who?
Oh god, right.
Go.
So you missed all my anecdotes and my
Yeah.
the funniest
yeah,
I've been ever.
Yeah,
Ah well.
Streams a bust.
The moment will never come again.
I was going to say it'll never happen again, will it?
No, that's it. That was my best moment ever. I could have done a better routine, but sadly lost. What can I say? That would be exactly like something I would do. I would have the best thing like review or episode, and I would either forget to press stream or record and just lose it.
I just used to forget to unmute my microphone and do 3 hours of me just going.
I've done that with interviews. for some reason I've unchecked something and they can hear me fine, but when I stream, like there's one or two interviews on my channel, and it's just me going. I was just like, you donkey.
Did we do yes, I was just going to say, have we done a recap already? I don't think we have we? Oh, we haven't for the benefit of
No, we did
wonderful...
like an unofficial one.
An unofficial
when Derek
one.
asked.
Yeah, so yeah, should we do a proper one then? Go ahead, Dave. Photographer and recapper.
So, we went to Mercy Hill near Clotton. I'm really not sure what happened on the train, apart from Derek dressing up as Charlie Chaplin and trying to get us into first class, but they didn't recognise him, so it failed.
I think we annoyed I was on the bus. We annoyed a passenger.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, we still technically kind of won. We still got second class, which is better than third class.
Then we caught a bus and just spent a journey annoying passengers that I thought might be plot related, but I don't believe actually were.
All a single passenger. There's only one other passenger.
Oh yeah, we just annoyed her.
The old lady with the bow legs.
Quite a lot. Then we got to wherever it was.
It was clotted.
Clotton. Everything was frozen. Everything was deserted, apart from one house with smoke coming out of it.
Yeah.
But there didn't seem to be anybody there. We spent the night in a boarded up church with some sort of weird symbol that we couldn't see, even with a torch, which was mysterious. Probably some sort of animal related thing, I don't know. Must be entirely normal.
Yeah.
Totally natural.
Yeah.
Had a lovely, peaceful night. Woke up full of beans, had a hearty breakfast of bacon, eggs. Or not.
No, I don't think you did.
Then we went for a lovely adventure through Bluebell Wood towards Nugs Farm. And all sorts of just generally slightly weird stuff was happening without actually being definitively supernatural or mad.
Borderline odd.
Yeah, seeing stuff that we weren't sure if it was there, losing our way, not stepping off the path. And then just as we were about to give up, I think we thought somebody was following us, or there was some sort of shapes in the trees.
Somebody, I can't remember who it was. Somebody saw somebody. I think it was George. Saw a figure that was like shirtless, watching you from the trees. But
many roles were failed. So
yes, there were.
Who knows? Was it real? Was it not? Was it hallucinations after that?
Was it Colin doing his act in the forest?
Completely fictitious bacon sandwich. And then we got to finally managed to leave the forest and met a couple of burly gentlemen and a lady with some fierce dogs, which turned out to be Nugs Farm, which was Malcolm's wife. We actually, I think, managed to finally pass a roll and persuaded her to let us in because we were totally normal.
Yes.
And no harm to anybody. And we kind of did diss our mate, what's his name?
Mr.
Quite
Gresty.
a bit. Yeah, told her that he was coming to try and marry her because he was the very bee's knees and thought he deserved everything.
Yeah.
She was excited.
And she then changed the tune and let us in because she also thinks he's a bit of a bellend.
Yes. Something. Yeah, I think that something along those lines, wasn't it? Oh, what's that? Okay.
I'm hearing
Me?
The robots are taking over.
Is that you, Derek?
Were you referring to the phone?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a long story there. That would be my uncle. He literally never stops calling us.
Okay.
That's because he's like in a group home situation, and his guardian happens to be my mother's sister, who is literally the definition of a devil incarnate.
Okay. That sounds like a complicated situation.
Her name is Lucinda, if that's any indication of her character.
Lovely. Well, hopefully it gets things calmed down for you.
So I think that was about it.
It was. So I think we finished with where you mentioned you mentioned Gresty, and she asked you. You mentioned Gresty and the fact that he'd mentioned her.
Coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wanted to know why you would take the trouble to find her and visit her on this isolated farm for no apparent reason. And I believe that's when you actually mentioned Malcolm.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did mention Malcolm.
At which point she invited you in for a cup of tea.
A milky tea?
A milky.
Milky.
Push the milk in first, that's it.
But does she
in trouble.
believe I am Charlie Chaplin?
I think it's probably unlikely she's been to the cinema in ever.
Yeah, that's true.
She didn't strike me as the socializing type.
No.
Charlie Chaplin, actually. And I'm thinking about it had it been maybe in the 40s.
Say again? Sorry, I missed
Yeah,
that.
he didn't die in 1977. So yeah, if this had been set in the 40s, and you're going around as Charlie Chaplin, I think it maybe a different reaction.
Yes.
Yeah, you got a point.
But the 20s is like
You're
ahead of the curve.
a bit like H.P. Lovecraft. If you went around dressed as H.P. Lovecraft,
Yeah,
nobody knew who
you got a really good point there. That is actually very valid.
That and everybody knows that Harold Lloyd was funnier.
Harold Lloyd, yeah.
Hey, wait.
Saturday morning with Harold Lloyd hanging from a clock tower. Brilliant. Anyway.
Was always a Laurel and Hardy fan myself.
Yeah, Laurel.
Yeah.
Me,
You say
basic, but
no. Laurel and Hardy and Harold Lloyd. Neither.
And they
Always
actually
preferred.
transitioned well from silent to voice,
Yeah.
like Charlie Chaplin.
Who just didn't. But no, Laurel and Hardy. I've got like the box set of everything.
Trails of
Why is
Lonesome
my
Pine.
the teacup scene was always my favorite, and I still laugh at it, even though I've seen it 100 times at least. You know where Hardy's like dropping all the sugar cubes into the thing, and Stan's just like, and add some more, and like I still laugh at that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's so innocent and daft. And
See,
you can
I
see it
think
coming a mile away.
the Christmas tree one always sticks with me. And where they go to the lumber mill and saw the car in half.
Yes.
I remember seeing that when I was probably like 7 or 8. Back when they showed stuff on, probably Saturday mornings and what have you. And I think that stuck with me forever.
What is it? The one with the boat where he gets his head stuck behind the mast that comes down to the lower deck of the boat.
Saps at Sea, where it's there's a convict stowed away on board.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets the paintbrush stuck to his chin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Having to shave the paint. Anyway.
God, those guys used to knock their pan in to make those movies.
Yeah.
Like physically hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And now you just got these roided up Muppets on front of the green screen and do nothing. They stare blankly going, and that's acting now.
Or at least I think Stan Laurel used to knock himself out. Oliver Hardy, basically because he wrote everything while Oliver Hardy was on the golf course.
The pen was truly better than the sword, eh? I'll fix your wing.
That and when he can, which one's it in? Is it Way Out West where he can light his thumb?
Oh, dear.
That always got me as well. And then Ollie's just there going, because he can't do it. Simpler times.
True.
I like the Marx Brothers as well. Got to love a bit.
They took me a while to get into. Never really.
See, I think some of them are funnier than others. Sort of the earlier ones are funny.
Never got about Formula League, I suppose. No, Abbott and Costello were always my, that's always my go-to for black and white.
You see, I preferred the Marx Brothers. I think just because that's what I watched first, probably. But that just the whole. This morning, I shot a gorilla in my pajamas. What it was doing in my pajamas, I don't know.
Right now, it's. I think that's about. Yeah. Shall we crack on then? Shall we?
Yes, I think we've tortured people with bad comedy for long enough. So let's switch over to bad role playing and bad dice rolls in my case.
Yeah, I can do some of that.
Okay. So Nug's farm, like I say, it sits on the side of this hillside, quite close to the fringes of Goatswood, which is
perfectly normal.
Yeah, which is the local name for this ancient section of the Dean Forest, the Forest of Dean.
Yeah, so we're going to meet Brian Cedric soon.
So there's although it's winter, there you can see there's a couple of fields attached to the property, and a smaller vegetable garden out back, and so a few fruit trees. There's also a lot of chickens. So there's coops. There's several coops out front of the house, and a few more around the back and side. So the house itself is a really old-looking 2-story limestone building, with a slightly newer-looking single-story extension built onto the back corner. All the windows are really small and shuttered. As you follow her in through the door, the doorway is quite so low, real low, to the point that you have to duck to avoid banging your head. And the ceilings in the rooms inside are quite low as well. The house has got there's a subtle smell of herbs and lavender and wood smoke that seems to permeate the house, and although it's lit inside, it's everywhere is dim. It's not bright. Not a single room is just bright lit. It's all really dimly lit, and like I say, all the windows, the shutters are closed, and all the windows. So you follow her in, and she doesn't say another word at first. She just goes over and fills the kettle from a hand pump sink, lights the stove, wood burning stove, and puts the kettle on the stove, and then takes a seat at the kitchen table, and sits scratching the ears of the dogs, saying the odd word to them. She kind of makes nods towards the chairs around the table, presumably suggesting you take a seat.
I will take a seat.
Yep. Just nod saying thank you very much.
So Hillary is she's quite an attractive. Once you get a proper look at her, she's quite attractive looking woman. She's looks to be in her early 30s. Beneath all the like smears of mud and dirt across like smeared on her, smudged on her face. She's got quite fine blonde hair that's kind of cropped at her shoulders. But as you sit down and get your first proper look of her close up, you can see her eyes are quite puffy and bloodshot, and she just looks tired, exhausted.
Ah, so she's a role player then. Doing too many late nights.
And she's wearing like a heavy old wax jacket. Underneath that is a shirt that looks like a man's shirt that's too big for her, and underneath that you can see an undershirt or long johns or something. I've got a pair of heavy tweed trousers, and she pulls off the like thick leather gloves she's got on, and pulls off the boots and slides them, puts them under the table.
Does she look like she's been crying? Is that
No, she looks like physically exhausted. Looks like maybe she doesn't sleep well, or you don't know the details, but yeah, she looks exhausted. I suppose Dr. Highsmith, you might make a medical role or perhaps a psychology role.
Okay, for what difference it'll make, let's do it anyway for a laugh.
first fail of the night?
Yes, let's start as we mean to go on. Oh, actually.
Oh my word!
Actually,
It's a hard
my
success.
word!
What a waste!
I just get a massive influx of insight, and all of a sudden I remember some of my lectures. While I was doing my psychology degree.
So you've had lots of patients that look like this coming through your practice in the past. Particularly, tends to be more from the more richer high society end. It's so she looks like she's suffering like nervous exhaustion, lack of sleep, frayed nerves, stress.
I'm guessing running a farm like this on your own can be quite taxing.
It is a hard life, yes. Although I do have Will and his boy that helps me.
Oh, that's always good. Sorry for dropping in on you like this. Obviously, it's not something we normally do, but just seemed our friend, if I use the loosest of terms, was quite worrying with his let's just say obsession. Have you experienced this before? You didn't really seem surprised.
I know of Gresty, but to be honest, I've never met him. He's Atkinson's right-hand man.
Atkinson?
Yes, old man Atkinson. You do remember Gresty mentioning somebody called Atkinson?
Yeah. Old man
Oh.
Atkinson.
Yeah.
He was going to. I can't remember what he said about him now. I've got him written down. It's old man Atkinson at Mercy Hill. And he was going to take what was his or some.
Yeah,
such
so
nonsense.
Gresty had essentially told her that Atkinson was the leader of this group in Goatswood, around Goatswood, around the Severn Valley, and that Gresty was, or at least viewed himself as being next in line to take over as leader of the group that worshipped the old gods, the British gods.
So how do you ask that without sounding insulting?
So when she talks as well, you notice she's I've lost her name. But she's not. She's,
It's a fire crackling that you lit. I'm just starting to come ablaze now.
the house is on fire! Fire!
For such a tiny microphone, bloody hell, that's...
So
I wasn't expecting fireworks after the 4th of July.
This is the British retaliation.
So when she talks, she's you're surprised that she's clearly not some like country bumpkin, some uneducated local. She's from her accent, you can tell it's quite obvious that she's comes from an educated background.
I don't suppose you could tell us more about this group that Cassie claims about. Is there any truth in it, or is it just a wild man's fantasy?
No, the group is real.
No, because everywhere seemed to be abandoned. I don't know. You think with a group that size and place, this place would be, or the area would be more sort of populous and thriving.
It is secret to the organization's longevity. But they are secretive, but also insular. They don't. The cult's aims are turned inwards. They don't seek to extend their influence to the outside world.
Which actually we've seen other examples where it's the exact opposite, and that's quite dangerous. So, can never fault anyone for living their lifestyle. Must be kind of taxing though at times, maintaining that secrecy and always feeling like you're about to, be discovered at any moment, maybe by the wrong people.
Well, the Ghostwood cult is survived for centuries without being really circumspect. It's as I say, it's limited aims. We don't involve outsiders in our practices.
Oh, so it is a we, not a they.
Oh yes, I'm involved with the group. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. That's wasn't too sure. Like I said, the poor fellow was I don't know. Sometimes you get warning signals that bad things can happen. So obviously, it'd be remiss not to. Might seem a bit of an extreme measure to take, but he seemed quite adamant that he was coming back to take over. Is that even possible?
Well, from what I understand, Wilfred Gresti is Atkinson's choice to follow him, especially since I rebuffed his advances and his designs. So Gresti is as bad as Atkinson, worse perhaps even, with his duller mind and she kind of like gives this disgusted look and his greater vigor.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong.
Does that make you question your position in this group then? If that's almost as if you're going to get handed over like property.
I believe that is Gresti's, appears to be Gresti's view on the matter, yes.
I'm guessing that's not a view you share.
It is not. It is not.
Do you have plans to protect yourself?
Perhaps.
Loquacious, aren't you?
So,
That forest.
tell me about yourselves, gentlemen. It seems I'm still somewhat puzzled as to why you made this journey here.
We're a loose association, come together quite recently. We sort of take on tasks, people go missing, or concerned relatives, which kind of leads us into some strange situations. Our recent involvement was obviously with Gresty. We did get involved with them via the courts. Trying to figure out how to explain it, because obviously after with our last encounter, we really actually no motivation to do this.
Which is actually
that's why I'm kind of struggling, because like really we have like the last adventure we had motivation. We were asked, we were searching for the young socialite. This we're just kind of let's wing it and see what happens. We're kind of jumping off the wall here,
which is why my part of my profession is I'm a bit of a disguise artist, as he shows his mustache is fake.
Right, she raises an eyebrow.
So it's I don't know how much to trust her with. Anything is the thing. I don't want to spill his guts to her.
So you can tell she can tell that she clearly is very. She doesn't trust you either.
Guarded, yeah. See, I think last time we had any dealings with Mr. Gresty before, he told us of his plans for coming down here. We were involved in a little incident up in Scotland, end of the world and all that. So we're trying to avoid similar things happening again. Nip it in the bud, so to speak.
She kind of nods. And,
yeah, these days it seems to be when you hear the words groups, cult, or secret society, bad things tend to follow. And we're worried that Gresty might want to take you to those bad places. See, some strange things.
I appreciate your concern, but I still don't understand.
Well, our main concern, I'll be honest, our main concern is not so much Mr. Gresty's aims towards the group as such, but Mr. Gresty's possibly his concerns with, if I was to say, Kaiwan.
There's no sort of recognition on the face.
Are you? I don't know if you're aware of Gresty's dealings with Bacon and Edwards.
She shakes her head. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, Mr. Blackguard. Those names are not familiar to me.
They were compatriots of Malcolm some time ago, and got themselves, well, I don't know if got themselves into, they were, I think, got others into some fairly heavy-duty dealings with things that I'd rather not speak of here. Things not necessarily that most people would take seriously.
If he takes control of your group, your current, let's say, peaceful lifestyle would change. I
So I
think he has
believe
other designs.
your group very much worships the old British gods. I'm not sure that that's who Quarrie and his ilk had in mind as the future. They worshipped a different king. Any sort of recognition?
You speak of Hastur.
Didn't really want to say that out loud, but
And this is how you relates to Malcolm.
he was involved with Bacon and Edwards.
As I say, I don't. These names aren't familiar to me. I know his interests shifted after his book was published. His interest shifted, and he left me and our daughter to pursue those interests.
Shut up, you tit! Well, yes. Well, when we were up in Scotland, well, seeing as you said it first, there was an attempt to summon Hastur to Earth, and we're concerned that he may be up to a similar sort of a second attempt.
She sighs again and says, Malcolm is an extraordinary man. He's capable of doing so much, doing things that no one else would even dream of.
Well, I'm quite fond of my little bookshop. I don't really want to be eaten. I had a very bad experience with flying horses. I really don't want to go there again. And yes, before you say horses that fly, it was not good. Not good at all. And I'll probably start to have some slight palpitations.
Wait, so you're saying that Pegasus is real?
No. Different type of horse, different type of flying. Pegasus is a nice horses. These were more black. Black. They locked me in the cellar and fed me pins.
Well, whatever your reasons, the arrival of strangers in the area certainly sparked some conversation and interest. You'd be surprised how quickly news travels in an area like this.
Well, we did notice some interest as we made our way here. You don't do anything involving leeches, any chance?
Leeches?
Black leeches that grow?
I'm no quack, Mr.
Dr. Highsmith.
Dr. Highsmith. No, that's not something I'm a farmer at heart.
That's good because they
Well,
never turn out well either.
it wasn't so much like your normal leech, by the way. This was initially small, but seemed intelligent, incredibly strong. And then we saw one that was substantially larger and killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like an inky blackness slug leech thing. Very unpleasant.
Ah,
Not as unpleasant as the flying black horses. But yeah, man-eating slugs. What a thing! What an age we live in.
it
The
does sound something.
absolutely terrible for your cabbages.
Though that kind of slug I do have a experience with. Luckily, I have a trick or two too.
Well, I'm guessing your chickens will take care of those.
Indeed they do. Indeed they do.
Well, these things we speak of would do all the whole damage towards your chickens and everything else. So our interest is we would like none of these things to surface again. So, you planning to call up anything unpleasant?
Unpleasant. No. I you must understand. I've an affinity with the landscape here. The forest. It speaks to me. Ever since I first came here, after me, Malcolm and I were married, he bought me this farm, as a wedding gift.
Ah, so you're not local.
No,
That was me thinking this was a local land for local people.
Wait, so out of character, what she's saying is she's the Lorax and she speaks for the trees.
Depends whose side the trees are on, really.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not convinced either way.
I'm from Tewkesbury originally. In fact, that's where Malcolm and I were married in Tewkesbury. And I say he bought this, brought me here, on our honeymoon. He bought this farm for me, and from the moment I set eyes on it, I loved this spot. I was bewitched by the landscape, the great black woods that just lie on the threshold of the farm. And we were happy here in our seclusion. Malcolm worked on his book that he was writing, while I managed a farm with a little help from some of the more approachable locals.
What changed?
Well, some of the local people, I suppose that was the first hint of troubles. What we first put down to be just amusing eccentricities in their mannerisms developed into something else. There was a growing level of antagonism towards Malcolm, whereas almost a strange, almost deference to me. Then, in autumn of that year, 1923, we got up one morning to find a book left on the doorstep. It was carefully wrapped up, almost just like a foundling child. It was an old book written by many different people over many years, a sort of kind of a shared diary, if you will. All the authors, they all seem to be local. Indeed, if the text was to believe them, many seem to have lived in this very farmhouse, which was strange, intriguing, and also slightly disturbing revelation at the time. and all had written under the same name, Atkinson. All descendants of old or ancestors of Old Man Atkinson.
And forgive me for asking, but how would Malcolm come to purchase a place like this, considering the locals and how guarded and secretive they are? Surely a place like this, so important to the culture and renowned, would never find itself in the market.
Well, the details of that, I'm afraid, are still a bit of a mystery. I've since then I've learnt a little. It seems Atkinson was manipulating this situation long before we moved here. You see, the book that Malcolm was writing, he'd been conducting research for a long time, in particular in this area. I don't know if you know his book. I've forgotten the name of it.
Is that not the gods of? Is that not the one that I've got in my bag? British Gods, Religion and Myth.
It is indeed. This is that.
I might crack it out.
Right. She seems impressed that you've got a copy and that you brought it. She says yes. So he was conducting research for a long time, and by chance, Atkinson was one of the people that he interviewed. And as I say, I don't know all that went on. But it was through Atkinson that Malcolm found this place. And as I say, I suspect Atkinson was being manipulating events for some time.
To what end?
To sire and heir, to be blunt, Mr. Black. The sire and heir. He's the last of his line. He has no family, and as much as the, shall I say, selective breeding that is perpetuated here in this part of the Severn Valley, it is not conducive to producing a healthy heir to inherit his power.
I can understand that. Yeah, I guess people don't travel far.
No. Hence, as I say, Atkinson is make no mistake, Atkinson is an evil man, but a clever man, and he holds the power around here. But I have no love for him, and he stole my husband from me, and he would have stolen my daughter too.
Have you not thought to move against him?
The balance of power has shifted somewhat. I would say that there are many that quietly back my bid for control of the organisation.
Seems a bit foolish if all he requires is a breeding partner. There's plenty in London who would happily oblige for a price. I wonder why he went to such trouble and complications.
As I say, I don't know the details, but I can assume that that Atkinson, as I say, I believe he's been manipulating events. He will have his reasons, some of which are hidden to me.
Do you know where he is?
He's in Lower Clotton. That's where he lives. I haven't had direct contact with him for over a year.
See, we were in Lower Clotton and we saw no one.
No, you were in Clotton, not Lower Clotton.
That'd be it then. Too many Clottons.
Yeah.
Like surnames in this part. For their liking. Or too low.
But as I say, I believe this was all part of Atkinson's plan. So that Malcolm was fascinated by this book, and suspiciously he seemed less than surprised with its appearance, and he kept it and he read it. And while I read it, I on occasion would read the text as well, and while much of it was mundane records of rents, harvests, illnesses, births, deaths, it also spoke at great length of witchcraft and Satanism and a god they called the Black Goat, or sometimes Shivnagrath. This deity was said to have been worshipped by the local tribes long before Christ and adopted by the Romans when they reached the Severn Valley. But that wasn't all. In the winter of that year, we started to receive hand-delivered letters that spoke of the book and the woods hereabouts and suggested the same kind of mind. Suggested that the author was the same kind of mind as produced these revelations. The letters were respectful in tone, or almost, thinking back, almost reverential, and much to Malcolm's annoyance, they were addressed directly to me and signed by Atkinson. Of course, at this point, I had no knowledge of the man. But it was, as you can imagine, it was somewhat disturbing. An unsettling development, and myself and Malcolm, or at least I believe he felt the same way. There is disgusted by this strange communication. But that said, neither of us took the effort to throw these letters out. In fact, there was some perverse interest stirred in the pair of us. I am sorry to say the letters bewitched me. And more came to the house. The new ones I hid from Malcolm. And I believe around this time, slowly, our love for each other and a disdain for the strained communications began to fade. Malcolm and myself, we argued more and more, suspecting each other of harbouring hidden communication with the author of these letters. And on separate occasions, we would find each other reading a book in secret in the dead of night. But then, in the summer of 24, Sarah was born. Malcolm's book was accepted for publication. Although I do feel that Malcolm was only genuinely happy with the second of those events. And in the midst of a particularly vocal squabble, he even claimed that Sarah wasn't his child, wasn't his daughter. And around that time, he took accepted a position in London at the Royal Society. And then for months, we wouldn't see him. He'd come back to the farm on weekends sometimes, but the visits became less and less frequent until they stopped altogether. Then money was sent, but eventually that stopped too.
I must take a strain. How have you managed to carry on?
Well, I've had little choice, Dr. Iceman. Little choice. And I say I have had help with with Will and his boy. We get by. The farm is not a profit-making enterprise. Don't get me wrong. But it's enough for me to survive and provide enough that enables me to barter and trade with other locals for other things that we might need.
If you don't mind me saying, you look as if the strain has kind of taken hold. I take it there's been no respite since.
No, it has not. It has not, Dr. Highsmith.
Well, sorry to bring the news aggressively, but like I said, better we told you early than having to be faced with an unexpected arrival.
I don't suppose this might be slightly rude, but do you still have a copy of the book that seems to have started all of this?
Another cup of tea, perhaps, Mr. Black.
And why not?
Speaking of which, I think my cow's boiled.
Right, so she collects up your cups and goes over and starts to boil a fresh pot.
Is she still within
Oh yeah, she's
our
only,
eye
Just,
line?
yeah.
sorry.
She's
Just
in,
what I was thinking. Rummage!
yeah, she's in the same
I
room.
was more interested in what she may or may not be putting in the cup of tea.
Oh
to be
no,
honest.
no! She just yeah. You can clearly see what she's doing. She's literally less than like 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
So as she's doing this, she continues to talk about the cult, this cult of the Black Goat, and how from the readings of this book that she learned fast of the cult's teachings and its practices, and grew in stature and respect within the members of the cult. And though Atkinson repeatedly made advances, she never allowed it. But she did allow Atkinson to move into the farmhouse after Malcolm had left, and the two of them and her daughter Sarah made kind of a strange family. But Atkinson presumed too much, and the final straw was one day in the summer of last year. I came in the house and found him teaching my 4-year-old daughter about the black goat and teaching her the incantation of the Vorish sign. I said nothing at the time, foolishly. It was foolish of me not to say something then. But it made me remember how I can never forget how Malcolm abandoned us, and I would not abandon my daughter to this cult. I would not allow Atkinson to induct her into this organisation.
Even though you're a member yourself, or is it just the leadership that you were taking issue with rather than the organisation itself?
So she comes and sits back down and hands you each a fresh cup. And there's a guilty look crosses her face. And she nods and says, yes, okay, so perhaps I did realise that maybe on some level above all this, I was I was jealous. I was jealous sharing Atkinson and what power would be mine, and to share that power with my daughter. A revelation that did not come as a pleasant experience. It wasn't pleasant to feel those emotions, to feel that resent against my daughter. So I sent her away. I sent her somewhere where she would be safe, out of Atkinson's reach.
Playing this game on the computer or on your phone?
And Atkinson,
I've been on the computer just listening.
You're not really playing. Is that right?
and though Atkinson ragingly demanded Sarah's return, I finally stood up to him. And humiliated, he finally left and crept to his hovel back in Lower Clotton.
Usually, if a man's humiliated, he doesn't take that quite well.
No, but it was already too late for Atkinson. The power had already moved on, even before his death, even before his upcoming demise. And I knew I didn't need to risk a fight in front of all these. But Atkinson was old, too old. And it was only a matter of time. The cult, the organisation, is mine. Although I am half a mind to destroy it.
Is there another that would step up if you left?
Gresty. That is something I cannot let happen.
How could you destroy it? Is it possible to do such a thing with such a deep-seated organisation?
There are ways I could deal a grievous wound to the cult, if I should choose to. She's almost saying this to herself. So suddenly the dogs bark once, then twice, and then rush over to the door and sit there barking, looking at Hillary. So she gets up and opens the door and follows them outside.
Probably ought to follow her.
Did you get my message?
Sorry, I've got things blocking. Oh. Where did you send me a message, Derek?
I sent it in the video ninja.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that yet. No, sorry, that's completely
Well, I've
separate.
just seen it and replied. Yeah, mate, do what you have to do.
Yeah. Family's family.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, Derek, anytime it's family's first, so no problem.
Anyway, I'll see if I can make it back.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll
no
be
worries.
Here. Right.
Yeah, I think we better follow her, just in case she needs more help than the dogs can give her.
What are we gonna do?
We're men.
Yeah,
We can be manly.
that's worked our advantage so far, hasn't it?
Okay. So, as you're talking amongst yourselves, you follow her outside, and she's walked around to the front of the house, looking back up across the meadow that you crossed that you came down to when you first found the house. And there's a man approaching.
Do we recognise?
You're not sure at first. A few hundred yards off, and you can see on the hill behind him. There's about a dozen others, but they're not approaching. They're just stood at the top of the hill.
Any torches?
Torches? No, it's only about midday.
No pitchforks?
No torches, no pitchforks. No.
Okay.
You can both make a spot hidden, I guess.
Oh, spot hidden.
Lovely.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
And we're
Oh,
back in
fantastic.
form. Back to you, Joe. That first success was just a wee red herring there.
Yeah. Just I'm not sure that I can really think of a way to push it either, to be honest with you.
Not unless you got a telescope or a pair of opera glasses. Or
We'll go shouting, "Oi, show us where they're hiding," and then we'll get mobbed.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not until they come much closer that you recognise it to be Gresty. It's almost we're in about 100 yards of the front of the house, and he recognises you, a puzzled look across his face, and he's just about to say something to Hillary, and he sees you and says, "Oh, Mr. Black, Dr. Highsmith."
Mr. Gresty.
Ah, we thought we might catch you here. You sent us such a wonderful invitation.
I
I hope we made it in time.
am surprised to see you here. I had received word that there were strangers in the area, but it never crossed my mind that it would be yourselves.
We're strangers now. Oh dear. Sorry you feel that way. Like you were so heartfelt and wanting us to be here to share your moment. We just we actually were worried we're going to be late.
Right, he kind of nods and then sort of looks away from you and approaches Hillary and greets her warmly. Says, "Ah, I hope this afternoon finds you well, Hillary." She just kind of looks, no emotion on her face. And says, "Atkinson has told me that there's bad blood has existed between you for the past several months. But let me assure you, this should not concern the two of us. We can inherit Atkinson's power together." And at this, Hillary strides forward and puts her face right up in his face. And says, "I curse you all, Gresty." And then she leans in and whispers, almost coquettishly, I can't pronounce that word, into his ear. You can make a listen roll.
Oh, yes, please. I have highly tuned listening ears.
I can't pronounce. Yes, it's a hard one to pronounce. Like, oh wow,
Maybe I should go and stand behind her and.
You're gonna get closer, are you? Oh, Charles!
I get the old ear trumpet out. And the extendable. What's that you say?
So yeah, so although Gerald, you can't quite make it out. Charles, she says, "Shall I tell you his true name?" And Gresty suddenly takes a step back, a look of alarm crosses his face, then he scowls, and without another word, he turns and stalks back the way he came, up towards the group of other men. As he gets about halfway up, and then turns once and yells, "Wherever they're here, they're too late. The handover is brought forward. It happens tonight. You'd better be gone from here, woman. All of you better be gone. Nug's farm will be no more." And then he turns and marches off up the hill, joins the others, and they disappear into the woods. Hillary, meanwhile, she just turns around and without a word she walks back into the house, the dogs following behind her.
Way to go, you rattled his cage.
Certainly did.
I whisper over to Gerald what she said just before we step in.
Can I have a cult roll as to why telling Gresty his true name might upset things?
Yeah, so she didn't say it's a shall I tell you his true
Oh
name?
yeah, sorry, yeah. I presume if she means Atkinson's true name, but
Oh, you can make a cult roll, yeah, why not?
I am on form tonight.
I can't think of a way that you could harm yourself by, yeah, you have no
Not
idea.
knowing. Need to blunder it and slap her in the face. Tell me what you mean, woman.
Just wake me up when you need me, Charles.
Okay, it's like I say,
Here, hold on. Why do I have to be the competent one tonight? This isn't right. This isn't normally how it goes.
I'll ask her. What does he mean by
she's
the
gone.
handover?
She's gone in the house, like I say. She just,
Oh, sorry, that will follow.
she storms into the house. The dogs following. The dogs almost look nervous. As they follow after her.
We'll follow her back in.
Okay, right. You go back into through the door, which leads into the kitchen. So she's not in the kitchen. The door out, the other door out out the kitchen is open, and you can hear her rummaging about, and then she suddenly appears with her arm full of papers, and she completely blanks you both. Doesn't even almost seems to have forgotten that you're even there, and she just like strides straight past you outside and begins stuffing these armfuls of paper, handwritten sheets of paper, and bound manuscripts into this brazier outside, and then strikes a match and sets fire to it. And once as the flames start to take to it, she goes back through the kitchen into this other room.
I'll put the kettle on.
Sorry about that. Finally, don't ever get parrots. They're flipping like temper tantrum toddlers that don't want to go to bed when it's bedtime.
Yeah, cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put the kettle on.
That fixes everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only way to be. Yeah.
Okay, so she comes back through with a bundle of letters.
Do you want a hand there?
Right, she walks almost to the door, and again she doesn't seem to. It's not until she reaches the door that she kind of pauses. As she's just for the sort of seeing you both for the first time again. And she just looks with this determined, angry look on her face. She says, "These are seditious and powerful writings, and they should not fall into Atkinson's hands."
I don't know what they are, but I can only agree with you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was under the mistaken impression they were from Atkinson.
See, I was assuming that they were the letters from Atkinson, but maybe not.
She says they are correspondence from Atkinson, but also the pages written by his ancestors, by his forebears, the revelations of Glacky.
Glacky.
they must not fall into his hands. The power he would command again is too great.
And this is exactly why we're here, to prevent these sort of things.
Yeah, this is very much our job.
Then you should grab what you can from the desk in the study.
I will grab what I can from the desk in the study.
Let's do it. We're finally figured out why we're here.
Okay.
I'll give it a quick obviously glance as I'm
Okay.
grabbing stuff. I don't want to be burning anything.
I thought somebody might not be able to resist having a bit of a nosy.
I'm an antiquarian book dealer, and you're showing me books, so there's only one thing that's going to happen there, really.
Okay.
You must not read from the book.
Don't read it out loud. I know, Captain.
Okay, so you get a brief chance to glimpse some of the pages. And this is what you see. If you can read this wonderful, authentic looking text.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and read it as
One
well.
of the true blessed is as pathetic as a puppet and as magnificent as a star. Something at once dead.
Something at once dead and never dying, a thing utterly without destiny and thus imperishable, possessing that absence of mind, that infinite vacuity which is the essence of all that is immortal. And are the blessed not suffered to become her children? Certainly they are. They are suffered to enter all of the wood and dwell there still. The dark young, her 1,000 children, they are scattered across the stars of the sky, and Shub-Niggurath watches them all, cares for them, and she screams with motherly delight as they suckle on her black, swollen paps. I believe that's this. Chew on her distended belly, gorge themselves sow fat, pig fat upon her flesh. At Nugs will she dwell on the doorstep. She will dwell there on the goddess's doorstep with her young. And when ripe, bring them to the moon lens, for they belong to the Great One, the goat with 1,000 young, and her own children will guard them. Her own children will bring her safe to her when the goat's dominion takes her in, when the goat's forest marches. When the goat's forest marches and the moon is growing full and heavy, then the moon lens will shine on the hill will open, and he, her servant, will come. And A was true to his promise. He has told me of certain things when I was ready to hear them. Secrets surpassing sanity, commanding me to an absolute cure. He has immured another soul within the black and boundless walls of that eternal asylum where stars dance maniacally like bright puppets in the silent, staring void. And I will be truly blessed. Our brethren may talk of the Father, whose measurement is 28 and 400. Some have especial fear for the one behind the wall, but all must bow down before she who is the black goat of the woods, numbered 3 and 700, the queen, the mother, with her 1,000 dark young. All must bow down as our fathers did, and their fathers did, as our sons will do, as their sons will do. Paps, not baps.
But said something about Nugs.
Yes.
At Nugs she will dwell, which is here, isn't it?
It is. So it seems to be, so it seems to be speaking of someone, almost like it sounds like a almost like a prophecy of sort of the arrival of some
being,
some person, some divine, some prophet, some.
I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not liking this. Always ending up with nexus points for occult battles and rituals.
So, Hillary, as she's coming through to gather more paper, she snatches it from you and takes it, and it's thrown into the fire with the rest of the papers.
As I'm taking papers out, I'll just go, what did he mean by the handover?
It means that Atkinson means to hand over leadership of the cult to Gresty tonight.
Does that kind of blow your plans out of the water then?
Right, so she throws the last of the papers into the fire and then goes back inside. The dog's sort of milling around her ankles with his whimpering nervously. Says, I can wound the cult fatally if I win tonight.
How can we help?
It's old and it's weak, and it's not going to get the new blood it needs. That is safe. Safe, far from Atkinson and Gresty's reach. She seems to regain some level of calmness. So, you came to speak of Malcolm.
Well, we came to try and stop Gresty more than anything, but yes. But how can we help you to? I feel, although I don't know your intentions entirely, but the enemy of our enemy is at least worth talking to.
Let me do something for you first, and then you can decide where your allegiance lies. And she gets up again from the table and goes upstairs. You can hear her moving around on the upper floor, and then she returns and she places two letters on the table. There's these are the last two pieces of correspondences from my husband.
Before he disappeared, or before he
After he
stopped coming
left.
back here, or after he left?
I guess I'll pick them up.
You start reading.
Okay, so as you pick them up, she tells you that the first letter, which she hands to you, reached her in the summer of about July in 1927. It was hand delivered to her by a stranger who refused to give his name. Never saw again. I didn't reply to the letter, and she hands you the letter anyway, so you can read it before saying anything else. Another chore, I'm afraid.
Oh my God!
Right, let's see if I can.
See, popping it out helps.
It does.
Yeah, that's as
Oh,
bad
actually,
as my
yeah.
writing.
No, popping it out. It's actually quite legible. Popped out.
Yeah. Dear Hills, I write to tell you how I fare and how I feel. I don't expect you should care on either point. You may not have even read this far. But I still feel so close to you, Hills. You are my equal, my better, my other half. I would come back to you and ask to be with you again, but I am deeper than ever. Deeper than ever, and so far out from shore that I cannot hope to make it back. I write this to inform you, to provide you with facts that may assist you. I seek no sympathy or approbation. When I moved to London, I met with someone who Atkinson had heard of as a scholar in the field. I spent time with him and others, and I came to know better the other like Shub-Niggurath, who is anchored to our stars. Hastur, Hater, or Kaiwan, it has been known to many cultures and civilizations. It is no legend. On New Year's Eve 1925, it was called to Earth so that we could learn from it. I will not describe the event, just say that we each learnt something different and that some did not survive the night. Hastur possesses avatars, and that which was called was not in its element, and I believe had been promised the lives it took, perhaps had to take them. It was an appalling night, but I must admit that as I later reflected, the immediacy itself meant much to me. It was not old words in old books. It was very real, much more real than our world, I think. I broke with most of the others after that. They are committed to a course that will fail. It is coloured by petty-mindedness and a lust for personal gain. There are links between Hastur and the Black Goat. It is talked of in more than one text of a union between the two, though the texts conflict over whether this will happen in the future or has already happened. The first source says that the Dark Young came from this sire, but I think this text suspect. The more authoritative source says that there will be a union after humanity is forgotten, and the two offspring will result. One is Yeb and the other is Nug, and that Yeb and Nug in turn produce two more entities, Cthulhu and Tethogua. As you know, I am inherently suspicious, even dismissive of the notion of applying our own concepts of procreation and generations to pantheons, but I know the names that will interest you. I have left the society. I could not continue to bother my mind with what others found important. So return to my analogy. I float on waves thrown up by forces out of our sight. I guess a course and try to steer it, but I am at the mercy of those forces. I have joined a circle whose goals are, I think, correct and will certainly be furthered. My knowledge complements their own, and we call our endeavour the pilgrimage. The pilgrimage of grace. You can imagine who came up with that name. I hope it is not conceited to think that our ideals are as pure as theirs were. There are still questions we need to answer, but things are very close now. How lucky we are to live in this time, for the stars do not repeat their patterns but once in 1,000 years or more. I could come for you, Hills, for you both. Dare I hope you don't laugh at that? I am in Milan now, and cannot easily guess my immediate movement. But write, care of Thomas Cook and Son, via Manzoni, and I will respond. I suffer to think how I have changed our lives. I lost both of us to this course all those years ago when I let the photograph of you fall out of my wallet before Atkinson. One just doesn't match up against things like this. All my love to you, Malcolm Quarrie.
Oh dear. I'll say that letter is really well done.
So you can make a history roll after reading this letter.
What's going on? Oh, box.
This will be fun. No.
Hang on.
5%.
I just managed to.
Actually,
I'm
that's a
not a
bit
historian.
harsh. I would say an education roll would probably suffice. To be honest, that's a bit harsh for a history to make a history roll of that.
All right. Watch me fail this one too.
Hey!
Actually, no. Being of a man of such high standing, and went to the best universities, of course.
Okay, so there's some.
Oh, come on.
You,
It's all right. I managed to log myself out at a most inopportune moment.
It's the only moment to do it.
Well, it's because I had that letter popped out, and then I clicked X to close the letter, and I didn't. I closed
the
Forge
browser.
instead. Okay, what we after? A history.
a history roll or education. History seems a bit harsh since its only base chance is only 5%.
I'm going to go with a history roll
Oh, okay. Very well.
because you can't increase education.
You cannot. You cannot.
And
Oh,
should I spend some luck? Am I going to get a different answer? And this is kind of meta, but
you'll not get an increase for spending luck. You're not going to get a different answer to what.
yeah, you don't get a tick, do you? So no, fuck it.
Okay.
So I get basically what happens is for the next scene I get to be smug.
Yeah,
So
I knew that.
Maybe you come up with it between you anyway. So there is something that Malcolm says in his letter about a pilgrimage of grace.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. That reminds me of.
So the pilgrimage of grace was a little remembered and ultimately unsuccessful Catholic rebellion against King Henry VIII in 1536. The leaders set a high moral tone for their endeavours, asking all followers to sign the Oath of Honourable Men, which promised that they were opposed to personal gain, envy, and heretics, and that they were for Almighty God, the Church militant, and the preservation of the King's person and issue. Supporters flocked to the cause in great numbers, and there was a real chance they could defeat any army sent against them. But these pilgrims were not ruthless, and a mixture of false promises and compromises from the crown led to the beheadings of its leaders and the disbursement of its followers. So
Yeah, old Henry liked an old beheading now, didn't he?
So
You got to enjoy a good beheading.
He's quite partial to it.
So Hilary says the goodness of the revolt of the Pilgrimage of Grace was greatly appealed to Malcolm, and this must be how he sees his own pilgrimage. As being honourable.
Don't remember that.
So, of course, Thomas Cook is of course a tourist office that handles tickets and exchanges of money. Although it's only a fairly new organisation, I believe.
I suspect they may go on to great things.
Possibly so.
Until they don't.
Before sudden and unexpected bankruptcy.
Yes. They'll be a well-known brand until they try to summon a new one and fall apart. Now know what happened last year.
Right, then she hands you the second letter.
Bum, bum, bum.
So she tells you that she only received this a few weeks ago. Again, it was hand delivered by a complete stranger who refused to identify themselves.
Tell you what, for such an out of the way unknown place, it gets a lot of traffic.
Yeah, a lot of people just passing by with messages.
So,
And let me tell you, it's not easy to get through that forest.
I know. So this is the second
Maybe that's why
letter.
it's grown. Sick and tired of the messengers appearing every 5 minutes.
Pardon me. This is the second.
Flipping Amazon
wow.
delivery drivers popping up stuff
wow.
all the time.
Making it full screen makes it a lot easier to read. So,
Yeah, it does.
Dear Hills, I dared to hope you would write. I told myself that you did not get my letter, that your letter did not reach me, but I know this is not true. The stars are right, Hills. I must tell you things briefly. This first may be old news, but the group that I split from will try and call Hastur soon. This will not succeed the way they want it to, but may cause great damage. Atkinson knew these people, so there may be repercussions for you there. Be on your guard. Second, our pilgrimage has set out. We will discover his avatar, the King in Yellow, the Son of God, if you like, his second coming. This could be as soon as December or early in the new year, although it may be as late as March. It has taken so much negotiation to get to this point. The university, the army, and so on. That will wait a little longer if we need to. He's a terrible and wonderful creature, Hills, and his return to Earth will be the greatest event in human history. I won't present my feeble predictions of what it may mean, and you may guess better than most. It just remains for me to pray that you are well, and Sarah too. I know I am not in a position to ask for things, Hills, but will you take the greatest care of her? I know you do. Please let her know who her father is, no matter what you may say of him. Yours ever, Malcolm. P.S. The stakes are high, and if you do not hear from me again, you will know I failed. I did not think to handle my affairs before leaving for here, but my will provides you with the call on all of my effects. Contact Thomas Villas at the shipping office of Giuseppe Colombo in the Navigili in Milan. I don't remember the street, but the name, business, and district will be sufficient, and he will act as my executive.
Shut your festering gob, you tit. Yeah.
Did you mention watching a play about the King in Yellow?
Yes. Where did he write? Does it say where he'd written that from? Was it Scotland by any chance?
No, it was in Italy.
Italy?
The previous one was in. Oh, is he in Italy still?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably Milan.
Sorry, I shall make those available to you so you can. So they will be configure.
Brief up the rest of the group.
Observer. There you go. So you'll be able to. You can. So that they'll be available for you to look at your leisure in the journal tab.
So he's gone to Italy, while the others went to Scotland.
Yeah. So he's gone to pursue his own attempt
Summoning.
to bring the King Yellow to Earth. And Alexander told you. Remember, Alexander told you something about if you are forced to lead the king astray. So
yeah, this is part I'm not familiar with. I was at the asylum at the time.
Yeah. So he says, you take the letters. They'll be far more use to you than they are to me. But I ask one thing of you. If you should see him, tell him that Sarah will grow up to know and to love her father.
Oh,
It's now about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and as the chimes ring out from this old battered grandfather clock in the corner, he'll return to you and says, "So, how are you to get away? I suggest you go now, so you will be in time for the Clotton bus at 6 o'clock."
I we can't leave you to face them alone, surely.
Would you not be better coming with us? Your allies seem to have switched sides.
I have no intention of leaving. I can't leave this place. I am connected to this place. If I win tonight, as I say, if I win tonight, this contest, then it will deal a heavy blow to the cult.
If you don't, though,
If I don't, it won't matter.
Can we not help you in any way? I'm not sure of Malcolm's plans to summon the King in Yellow, which I feel is a terrible error. But I feel that Gresty should be stopped at all costs.
also somebody that obsessed, you can't guarantee the contest will be fair.
I can't deny that your help would be beneficial. But if you choose to help me, you must agree to do exactly what I say, when I say. If you do, then you should be safe. But if not, it could be that none of us will live to see the next day.
Do you know what? Better to take our chances here. With Gresty seen us, he wasn't happy.
I was going to say Gresty won't. Obviously, if you win, that's fine. If you fail, Gresty won't. I feel let this slight lie. So we may as well make our stand here with you,
Yeah, it makes sense.
and then
He's not exactly the most balanced individual.
Right, so as she speaks as well, she's like seems remarkably calm. Says, your help may be hard given, but it will be necessary. And then
Okay, then instruct us what to do.
a voice sort of waves a bit, and she seems tense and suddenly scared, and the dogs seem to sense it and start to growl. Atkinson and Gresty will come around midnight.
well,
That gives
I
us a few
guess,
hours to prepare.
yeah.
Right, so without another word, she goes outside and she's gone for it. She seems to be gone for 5-10 minutes. So the dogs have followed her as usual. And curious, good to see what she's doing. She's just kind of pottering around, feeding the chickens, checking on various things. Doesn't seem to be doing, considering what she just said, she doesn't seem to be doing anything to making any preparations or anything.
Another cup of tea?
Go on then.
That would be wonderful, Dr. Highsmith.
Should we not be making some preparations?
She looks at you and says, I need you to do what I say, when I say it, and without hesitation. And I will say nothing more on the matter for now.
I'm. That's fine, but I was expecting there to be more pits with stakes involved.
Right, she kind of smiles a little bit. She says, if you'll excuse me, I do have some washing to do. And she does that. She goes upstairs, gathering up clothes and sets about washing dirty clothes. Leaving you both to your own devices.
It's very strange.
Hmm.
So,
There's a term for this.
Well,
calm before battle sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose. Well, I'll clean my shotgun. Put some shells like along the windowsill.
It's almost like she's performing a ritual in itself. It's almost like meditation. You'd see that in boxers, pugilists before they go in. They'll carry out the most mundane tasks.
Yeah,
but they're just preparing themselves. It's a strange ritual. In fact, soldiers during the Great War, they'd be the same. They would set about preparing their uniforms.
She is very calm about it all.
Should I maybe try another psychology roll, see if I can pick anything up? Or is this just...
Sorry, say that again, sorry.
Should I perform another psychology roll to see if I'm picking anything up, like she's steeling herself for battle, or is she really completely unconcerned?
Yeah, why not? You can make a psychology roll, yeah.
Might as well. While I'm making the tea, I can do a wee bit of diagnosis on the side.
Uh-huh.
Aye.
Or maybe not. What it is, I'm worried, because I'm starting to think about it, I accidentally put the milk in first and then catch myself on and just...
Can I do a psychology just to show him how it's
why not?
done in,
Why not? Why not?
in revenge for that history roll?
Please
let's be honest.
Please pass. That'll be so funny.
I haven't passed a roll tonight, so,
This could be the one that'll be brilliant. But tonight's not your night either. What can I say?
Yeah.
You just feel less spectacular than me.
That is just... Yeah. It is not going well.
Okay. Right.
So I just assume that's what it is. Whether I know or not, it's a different matter. Because I know people, obviously my years of experience, I can read people like straight off and make that instant analysis.
So
most times I'm wrong. Sorry, right.
So while you're pottering about the kitchen, you for the first time you notice kind of tucked away on top of a shelf is a unframed photograph of Hillary few years younger. Stood holding a young baby girl in her arms, and stood with a young man at the side of her, who you presume must be Malcolm.
Where is Sarah anyway?
Whoa, that looks really badly photoshopped. Is that the way you got it?
That is a redone one that the guy who did some of the updated tokens did. It's far better than the one that comes in the book. I can assure you.
Right, because
That's some terrible photoshopping.
yeah, that is like that's like something I would do. It's like somebody's photoshopped the Malcolm and her and the Hillary and the baby.
Yeah.
I'm concerned for that baby's well-being, to be honest.
Yeah, that looks,
Yeah. So in fact, it looks like somebody's photoshopped the people in front of the house, the baby onto the people, and then some new faces onto the people as well,
yeah. Including the baby.
including the baby. That is just all sorts of weird. Shut up! Jesus, whacked. Fucking cats. Does anybody want a cat? I know you've got about 27.
Yeah.
That's right. I had mine storming around the top of the cage, wings, cheep, 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 flipping temper tantrum. I'm not going to bed yet. It's like, oi, in.
So it's surprisingly serene here at the farm.
Yeah, it's really weird. This is troubling me, the fact that she's just so calm about everything.
Then about mid-afternoon, the dogs start barking. And glancing out the window, you can see people coming into the yard around the house. You recognise one of them as Hillary's farm worker, Will.
These her allies.
So there's Will. You see Will and 5 other men carrying various implements: a sickle, hose, pitchforks. So Hillary looks out the window and sees them as well, and she seems a little surprised, but unconcerned.
Hey, listen.
So she turns to her dogs and tells them to be quiet and tells them to go and sit in the corner. Says, if you'll excuse me, just wait here, stay where you are. And she walks alone out of the house. So you can only overhear Hillary's end of the this conversation that's going off. The others are just mumbling unintelligibly. And Hillary speaks clearly and firmly. I don't need your help. No, I have help. And there's some murmured responses. Yes, I know where you stand. So will Atkinson if you stay here. And Garesti. There's some more responses. And then finally, Hillary says, no, I can't take it. Go on. Go on. Will, take them away. Go on. All of you, go. And she essentially just like shoos them off the property, and she stays where she is for another minute or two, looking away from the house and watching the men until they disappear. And when she turns and she comes back into the house, it's clear that she's been crying.
Why? Surely more help is a good thing.
And if we were to fail tonight, then their lives and their families' lives would be forfeit.
I thought you said
this
if we,
contest, please.
I thought you said if it failed, it didn't matter it wouldn't matter anyway.
It wouldn't matter, because I'll be dead.
Yeah, it'd be appreciated if you would explain this contest.
She sighs again. All in good time, Dr. Highsmith. All in good time.
I think under the circumstances, charge would be more appropriate as we're about to face some great odds together.
Right, she nods and smiles. Very well, Charles. It is. Charles, it is. And you can call me Hillary.
Pleasure to meet you, Hillary. It looks like we're about to have some interesting times together.
Yeah.
Indeed. And she sets about dusting the kitchen.
Is there anything we can do? Because doing nothing, I'll be honest, is driving me up the wall.
The washing on the line should be dry by now. You can bring it in and fold it.
Don't have to roll for that, do we?
Fold washing.
Like, fail and ends up in the mud. It ruins the whole ritual. It's actually the component part of the ritual. And we ruin it.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Okay, so we'll finally get the duvet, and we're like, right.
So, yeah, probably maybe infuriatingly, it's the evening, or the rest of the day and the evening passes quietly and serenely, with Hillary just continuing to go about doing mundane tasks. Later that evening, she makes you all a simple supper of bread, cheese, and some fruit, and then she sits knitting in a chair in the front room in front of the fire. Time passes, and finally the dogs give warning again as the clock chimes midnight.
Okay.
Right, so from the cottage window, you can see a bonfire in the woods. It's can't be more than half a mile away in one of the arms of the woods that comes closest to Nug's farm. Hillary doesn't join you. She just continues to sit quietly in a chair. The bonfire is, and you can see the bonfire in the woods and figures passing in front of it. Just like clearly, you can't see details, but clearly visible, against this fire. You can both make listen rolls.
Can I though?
Can you though? Yeah, indeed.
No, we can roll them, but
Got my headphones in.
yeah.
Okay, so
I'm in the zone, humming to myself. It's a great tune.
every so often when the wind changes, you can hear vague suggestions of voices raised in a song or chant.
It's just the wind. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing going on. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can make a spot hidden roll as well. So still, Hillary's just sat there, sort of sat in the chair. The dogs that's at either side of her, she's stroking them and talking to them. Oh wow!
Yay! There it is. There it is.
Laser vision.
Oh! Okay, so like I say, you can see these figures moving across this fire.
Joe's like, see the third branch down, the fifth twig, and the second leaf.
And yes, you do see it.
And I do see it. Could you just get me it? That person with the pig cap.
with the 3 nostril hairs. So yeah, you can see these figures dancing around this fire, sort of silhouetted against the fire, and the chanting or singing seems to like change in intensity, and one of the figures suddenly stands still, and is struck and falls to the ground without any attempt to defend themselves.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That's another one of these gatherings, I take it.
Yeah.
So still, Hillary just sits speaking to her dogs.
Hope we're in a peaceful camp.
Yeah.
As Hillary commands, break yourself in the head.
Okay, so she sits there as this goes on, continues to go on. She sits there in almost complete silence for another 10 minutes or so. During which
So there's
point,
more people just dropping in the same
no,
fashion?
they just only it only happens once.
Once, right? Okay.
And during this time that she just continues to sit there, the like dancing and the chanting stops, and the scene falls, and this scene in the woods falls quiet as well. And then Hillary slowly stands up, says, "Remember what I've said. You must do what I say when I say it, if we're to survive."
Quite. I've been waiting since about 3 o'clock for you to tell us to do something other than fold the washing.
Right. So she like I said, she gets up from the chair and says, you must all wait here." And as she walks past you, she's whispering something inaudible. And as she heads outside, and you can all make another listen roll. All right, she doesn't go outside. She kind of just like gets up, wanders around the kitchen, whispering something. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. So
See, it's not been outside; it's the indoors. You know. It
Yeah.
helps
so
amplify the sound.
a new noise comes from the woods. You hear a distant crack, and then another, as though boughs and trunks are being smashed and broken. Hillary looks up, and her face is set and calm, and a determined look on her face. It is time to go outside. She quickly leaves the dogs to the front room and shuts the door, even though they're like frantically trying to follow her. And then she heads outside.
Off we go.
Okay.
I'll rack my shotgun.
She says, that won't be required unless you seek a quick end if all is lost.
Well, yeah, I'm all for a quick end.
Right, so she tells the 4 of you to quickly grab 4 chickens from the coops and hold them upside down by their legs in front of you.
4?
4 chickens. Do not question me. I will not say this again.
Obviously, the 2 other members of the group that are we doing the Rocky thing? Okay, chicken it is.
Yeah. Do I need some sort of chicken mastery roll?
No. The chickens. It takes some effort to capture them, but no.
I was going to say, have you ever tried to catch a chicken?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a Rocky scene.
So yeah, they're quite the ones in the
Mickey.
coop. They're contained in the coops, so they're not. It's a bit tricky, but not impossible. So when you return with the each character holding a chicken upside down, it's like the chicken squawking in a panic. Hillary produces a long, sharp knife that she holds up in front of her, and she starts to scream out, "Ish nigareb!" And Hillary slashes precisely at one bird, fatally wounding it. "Say it!" she shouts.
Ish niggerif.
Ish, nigger, that.
Right,
Ish,
so
nigger nath.
Ish nigarab.
Ish niggerab. Okay.
So the others, maybe one of the others falter. She says, "Help me! Say it!" And they the George and the others repeat
Norman.
it. So then she says, "The black mouth!" And the knife slits the second bird. Both are still alive, and a deep, regular noise is now audible and getting louder. Repeat it!
The black mouth.
The black mouth.
Okay, right. You feel this strange sensation. There's almost like energy being drained from you, and you feel slightly lightheaded. The black tongue. A third. She's picking strikes with ritual flourish. Blood from all three chickens is splashing out over her hands and arms, and whoever you that are holding them. The birds are still alive and flailing and sort of gurglingly squawking. She's like sort of
The black tongue.
The black tongue.
right. The ground seems to tremor, and now it's clear that something monstrous, hopelessly big, is coming this way. Right, she calls for you once again to repeat the black tongue.
The black tongue.
The black tongue. Not entirely comfortable with this.
And then as you utter these, repeat these words again, you feel this energy being drained from you. The black lip, and the fourth bird is slashed.
The black lip.
The black lip.
Right, as the repetitions are made, the birds struggle weakly. "Keep those birds there," she screams. And then, "Stand still!" But it's unclear whether this last is directed at you or whatever it is that she has whirled to face. The terrified chickens that are still in their coops add to the cacophony of the dying ones. The dogs in the house howl madly. And again, you feel like the energy is just being drained from you as the ground shakes, and there's a horrible stench that threatens to overwhelm you. It's like a mixture of rotten meat and gone off milk, and this sound of something approaching is like a train bearing down on you. Suddenly, Hillary points her arm out in the direction of the noise, and against the black of the night, something even blacker is visible, and it is as big as the house. It's not quite too dark. It's not quite too dark to make it out, but it takes a while to see that it seems to shift. A massive twined body on squat legs, the upper half that whips frantically as though it's in great pain, and somewhere in the body below, a mouth smacks open and spews out a stream of filthy green ichor. The smell is overpowering, and you must make a constitution check.
I knew you were going to say something like that. Oh, bugger off.
Okay, right. So yeah,
And that was failing anyway.
so you both vomit.
Just upchuck.
Yeah, you
Straight
can't
away.
uncontrollably. You can like Gerald just collapses to the floor, like just emptying the entire contents of his stomach all over himself and all over the floor. High above the trees. High above the thing that you mercifully can't fully see. There appears to be movement, like trees that were not there a moment before. So you also now need to make sanity checks.
Of course.
So we're doing a sanity roll.
Hey!
Oh, if you failed
Hey!
your sanity roll, you lose 1d10.
Oh,
That stings. And if you pass,
If you pass, you lose 1d3. Oh! Oh dear. Can you make an idea roll? Or rather, not make an idea roll is what you want to do. Oh, you made the idea roll. So yeah, you just gawp in horror as you fully comprehend this immense black twisted ropey monstrosity that towers above you and the house. And we need
time
a
I needed to fail a roll. I don't because I'm brilliant.
so so it's the first time you've lost sanity from things, so you get 5% Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh,
good effort.
I thought we were going to get that afterwards anyway.
And let's see where we need to make. Can you give us a D10 roll as well?
Let's see. Oh, 1.
1.
Sorry, how many Cthulhu? Oh,
5.
5.
So a real-time bout of madness.
This is not letting me add.
It's what not?
What are you trying to do?
I was going to add the Cthulhu Mythos, but it's not. Oh, I have to go in the edit.
All right, I'll have to do that. So
Right.
there you go. I've unlocked it. You can add it now. You just click on the little padlock and it unlocks.
Okay.
So you
Alright.
can and then lock it again. There we go. Boom, locked.
Done.
Okay.
I'm in. I know stuff. I've seen things.
Okay. So Charles just passes out. Just falls unconscious in the dirt.
You just can't get the help.
So, ignoring this, Hillary stands tall, reaching towards the thing, and then, like a challenge, shouts, "Ishni Garab Utugazul!" And immediately she whirls back onto the chickens and kills them. 1, 2, 3, and then she looks wildly around as the one that Charles was holding is just laid on the floor.
I'll grab it and pick it up.
Okay, right. So as you grab it and pick it up, and she turns and slashes with a forehand and backhand slashes across the chicken's throat, and then she turns again to face the creature and takes 2 steps towards it. "You will kill the one who summoned you," she speaks quietly, coldly, pointing towards the wood for the distant fire, "and all who were there with them. Then you will go back to your mother to draw on her teat."
Definitely in favour of that.
Let's see. Now she's going to have to see if she's actually managed to do it or not. Just need to make a quick look here.
If not, game over. Nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Does she pass? Does she successfully do this? Oh yeah. That's 6. Right. So this thing turns, and its passage is heralded by the sound of cracking branches and smashing trees. And it disappears into the darkness. You hear this great stamping as it heads off into the night the way it came. It's not as it does, its noise seems to diminish, but then it is counterpointed by the distant screams of fear and pain. Hillary doesn't stop to listen, covered in blood and completely seemingly in like a trance-like state. She turns and re-enters the house, closing the door behind her. And that is where we will leave it.
Okie dokie.
Yay!
Have a little kip in the garden.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for not killing us.
Thank you very much.
Always appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some after effects of your actions, of course. So we didn't abandon Hillary to her fate, so that was good. You've participated in the ceremony. That unfortunately results in you both losing another D3 sanity points.
Oh, how do you do a D3?
Slash R D3.
All right.
Slash R space D3. 1D3.
Ooh.
Okay. So you didn't leave Hillary to die. You're staying to help Hillary. That gains you 1d6 points of sanity.
Hey!
That was like a stock market we're trading.
Yeah.
Buy, sell, buy, sell.
Hey!
Hey, I'll take that.
Successfully helping to turn to reverse the summoning. You get another 1d3 sanity back.
One, I'll take that.
And finally, knowing that Hillary has survived, you both get another 1d6. And we'll have to remember to tell the other two.
Three. That's me almost back up. Have I become more sane than what I was?
Possibly.
I have. But then I did lose an absolute shitload a couple of weeks ago.
It's possible, but your maximum sanity has decreased because you've got Cthulhu Mythos now.
Yeah.
True.
Awesome sauce.
There we go.
Well,
Sometimes.
fun times. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So yeah, so now just a little tidying up to do there.
And then off to Italy.
Off to Italy, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like we're due at suntan.
Off to Milan.
What strange, like, flipping Scotland 1 minute, Milan the next, like just globetrotters.
We are.
No Egypt though.
Yet.
Yeah, that's probably going to bleed in at some point.
The inevitability of it all.
Yeah. We'll end up there. You know it's true.
Right then. So I think we are going to try and finish Highway of Blood next week, I believe.
Cool.
Yep, try and be there for all 5 seconds my character's going to live. The way he was
I
left.
don't know. Oh, yeah. That's
Hold
true.
on.
You were kind of in the middle of it.
I'm in a vehicle bay bleeding out while the whole building explodes.
Yeah.
In Michael Bay fashion. So.
Whereas some of us did heroic snake murdering.
I got a snake.
heroes.
Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, heroically running away.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
escaping.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yes.
And then
Killed my pet snake as well.
then we can come back here and see who we've really pissed off. Because I suspect that Gresty will still be around.
Yeah, well, yeah. Did he survive? Did he survive, or did he not?
We don't know who actually did the summoning.
No.
It might have been Atkinson handing stuff over.
Yeah.
Well, considering he's the one with the power, it would make sense.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
so the part of the according to Gresty, part of the purpose of it was to handing power over to Gresty.
So yeah, which one of them did the summoning? I suspect we haven't seen the last of him.
That's right. With Bama paint, he'll be all right about that.
Yeah.
Let's take him on our pub crawl. Job done.
Get him
Yeah.
to do a lecture on churches.
Yeah, that'd do it. We're probably also going to have to kill Malcolm Quarrie at some point.
Yeah, imagine he's
Your
went
wife-
ahead of us and he's found what he was looking for. And
Yeah. Because he is, at the end of the day, still trying to summon Hasta.
Oh, the King in Yellow. He's after the King in Yellow.
Sorry, he's after the King in Yellow. Well, that's so much better.
Because it's the second. It's like the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
why
really
did I have a
rational.
problem with that? Yeah, it'll be hi. Your wife says hi. Your daughter loves you. Poddle.
caution in the head. Doof.
Yeah.